Welcome everyone to Fantasy Focus Live, brought to you by the Talking Tottenham Boys and Danny Shakes' private jet. I mean, it's always like a once a week thing, or is it multiple times a week that you're on that private jet, Shakes?
More than multiple times a week, Bucks. It's constant. That's
So
how I get
more,
around to and fro. Yeah.
more than multiple times.
What people don't understand is there's actually a lot of cost that goes into just housing your jet. So hangar fees are a big thing. So
Okay.
might as well just be going somewhere.
What are hangar fees like these days?
They're high. They're high.
So I can't afford them.
Most likely no.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you know who can afford them?
Tanguy and Domblay.
Owners of English Premier League clubs, and that's what we're here to discuss tonight. So a little bit of an abbreviated live show, but you know what? We said we'd do it every Thursday. We had the unexpected, but it should have been expected FA Cup run in through the weekend that I was totally oblivious to because there's so much sensory sensations going on in terms of just having league playback that I overlooked it, and that's on me. But we're not going to put mud on our face here. What we're going to do is keep trudging forward. We're going to ford the river, and we're going to say to ourselves, how do we make people money? Well, of course, we predict matches. We think, what's the situation? What's the club? And how are we going to come out of this? We're going to come out on top. We're going to come out down below. I think in this sense here, Shakes, we're going to come out well on top because I got a good feel on these matches here. This weekend we have two Premier League matches. We have Villa and Wolves. And then Sunday we have Watford, Southampton, FA Cup with four matches that we will be breaking down here. Same way we did last week. Not as juicy, not as exciting. We don't have 10 matches to run down, which was, what will be the goal for the next 2 weeks following this particular live show. But number one, I just want to say, Shakes, the dad hat this
You like
week is
it?
absolutely crushing it. I mean, could you be more of a dad?
I'm such a dad, and I own every bit of it. I love being a dad, Bucks. It's the best thing ever. Do,
Has
do
your
I
kid
have
dunked on you yet?
Yeah, like we were actually in the pool earlier today, and he just two-hand tomahawk right over me. He was just hanging on the rim, chains rattling.
Yeah, that's good.
Should I curve it more, or is that too young looking? Do I got a flat build like you?
I
You
mean,
flat build everything. I don't know if I like it, but
but see, I have a really wide head. So people
so
say, like,
does a flat build compensate for it?
well, folks say, Buck, you're like a flat bill guy. But really, if I didn't have like, look how wide the surface area is here. If I didn't have a flat bill on and I curved it like you, I mean, I'd look like a marshmallow getting slammed into a nice little thin rod. You know what I mean?
Do you have? Yeah, I get that. That's a good aesthetic. Do you have aviator sunglasses or like wide sunglasses? Because I think that would fit your flat bill look.
I wear like a square frame Maui Jim. I can get them. I'm not going to, but I
No,
could.
it's okay. I want to get you
Yeah,
like a really wide pair of sunglasses. I want to see you outdoor drinking a beer with the flat bill and the big wide aviator glasses. I
I've
think
tried that
that needs to be
before.
your look.
I've tried it. I honestly, it doesn't suit me that well. They don't fit right over my nose. I have kind of like a crooked, cockeyed nose, but that's neither here nor there, Shakes. We're gonna run down these matches, give our predictions, our thoughts on them, and then we don't have many monkey knife fight picks, but we have one game to choose from right now because we only have the one Saturday match here, and that's Villa and Wolves. So we'll be running down a couple of different games there that we might like a little bit of action on. But for the most part, it's just continuity, keeping this thing going, getting Danny Shake some more live reps. That's what this whole thing is all about. He's not helping his cause with the dad hat, especially the white dad hat. Like, how do you even wear that outdoors in this Florida heat, which, by the way, is absolutely preposterous today?
It was 96 degrees in Melbourne, Florida, and the white hat reflects the sun. What are you talking about?
You're going to sweat that thing to the point where it's taupe in no time.
It's just gonna. Oh, yeah, it could get disgusting. Maybe I'll just bleach it, wash it every so often. We'll be okay,
Yeah.
Bucks. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it.
This live show is also brought to you um, by West Elm and their taupe couches because Shakes' hat is actually made out of a West Elm taupe couch.
Can you tell I just got it? Look at this thing. It's
You
so
know what I
bright.
don't like about it? I'm just going to come clean. I don't like the under navy that they have
You don't like
here.
the navy here and then the white bill
It
underneath.
looks like you're playing croquet, is what it looks like to me on the surface.
But I
And I
love
know
croquet.
oh, I was
Fits the
about,
PJ life.
I was about to say you do not suit me as a or strike me as a guy that is very affluent in the croquet world, but that's okay. Let's get into our matches here. First, EPL match. We're going to break down EPL and then FA Cup. Villa and Wolves. Villa coming in with a very interesting situation. They're right now in relegation zone. However, they have two competitors in Bournemouth and West Ham. I think Villa's the best team out of those three, but going up against Wolves, that's a really tough opponent to beat. So I'm curious to know your thoughts leading into this match.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. West Ham, they've just looked piss poor and they have no
Terrible.
offense. No
Terrible.
offense. Right now
They
though,
don't have the
Cherries
setup. They don't have the setup. That's their issue.
that very true. They're injured on the front line and that's hurting them pretty bad. And it's really going to just turn into that war of attrition, right? Where just someone's going to like steal a point here or there, and that might just make all the difference. And there's going to be like this turnaround where someone plays 3 games in 9 days, and just how many points are they going to get off of that because they're going to be playing all superior teams to them. But I agree with you. I think Aston Villa at least has a little bit more star power, right? Grealish is probably the best player out of those 3 teams. Uh, yeah, I would say that. And I think it's so much more important, obviously, to stay up versus worrying about making it to the semis of FA Cup only to lose that game. So it's one of those things where it's just going to have to be you just have all of the focus on EPL. With all that said, though, like when you're Aston Villa and you're going against a team that's trying to get into European play, including Champions League, like Wolves, that's a problem, Bucks. I mean, I don't know. It's just don't overthink it, right? Like they're a bad team, they're playing a good team, and Wolves have played well out of the gate since the restart happened. So if I'm
Seemingly
just
well.
seemingly
Like,
well, and it's all defense for them because they play that back three, and then also when Traore comes in as a sub and just can beat guys just to the corner and center the ball to either Jimenez or Jota or whoever, it just always works for them. They're going to win 1-0, 2-0. It just feels like every game.
yeah, they play that really crisp defensive style, and they have enough juice on the offensive end, especially when you get Traore in there, where they can threaten any team. However, Villa is fighting for dear life. For dear life. I think Villa, I think this is going to be a 1-1 draw.
Really?
I do.
So
Villa,
I like to rabbit hunt. I like to look ahead at the schedule. But after Wolves, they have to play Liverpool and then Manchester United. So
throw it all out here.
that's a rough 3 in a row right there. And then they got Crystal Palace, Everton, Arsenal, and then they end the season with West Ham. So that could just be must-watch TV, Bucks.
That
Last
will
game of
be
the
must
year
watch.
might be loser leaves town and gets relegated. It's a kitchen sink game, I think. When you
That's
have a
how I look
full
at it.
when you
Yeah.
have a full squad team and you're just trying to survive, and I don't think Wolves are in FA, right? So
Nope.
Wolves have everything to play for too, and this is their focus as well. So I mean, it could be something where you could say 0-0, 1-1. I'd be on board with that. And when I look at the lines, have you taken a look at the lines yet?
No, that's why I rely on you
You rely on me.
because you're the degenerate.
Mo- Minus 130 is Wolves right now, whereas you can get Aston Villa plus 370 on the money line side. And then it depends on where your site is, but you should be able to get a double chance in the minus 130 range for Villa. So it sounds like that's where you would be leaning.
I would definitely lean towards the double chance here.
And again, to remind everyone, a double chance is basically you're betting the team to draw or to win. You get both outcomes.
I just see Villa competing in every match they play. They're at home, they're on their home turf, they know the dimensions a lot better than Wolves. And I've watched enough Wolves, I think we spoke on it last week, to where I'm very comfortable in saying I don't see Wolves as a club that can just go out there and shell shock a team. And Villa has just been this, they've been an enigma in the sense that they have prowess at times and they look so crisp, but the finishes aren't there. They have lapses at the back, and it's a frustrating club to root for at this time and period. But Villa just got up. I mean, they need to stay up. Otherwise, they're going to be down for a while. A good 2-3 years till they can build it back up because they're going to lose Grealish, they're going to lose Tyrone Mings, and then it's just a restart, recycle, and it's a 2-year phase. They win a match or they draw against Wolves. That point goes a long way considering there's 3 teams sitting right there in that 27-point range.
Yeah, and it's all about stealing that point. It's winning that point you're not expected to, because the other teams that you're fighting against, they're going to steal one here or there too. But just like you're a bad team playing a good team, if you're Villa, same thing's going on with all the other bottom feeders right now. They all have tough schedules ahead too. Like Norwich has to play some tough games along with Bournemouth and West Ham, and it's, to me, Bucks, this is just as riveting as the Champions League battle. And I know Spurs are in Champions League battle, so we're of course homers that way, where we want to see what happens with that, and Europa's going to factor in as well. But I just think like the life and death of getting relegated to the championship, that I don't know. I couldn't imagine like other sports being that way, especially in America. Just like yeah, if like my hockey team or baseball team or basketball team just gets relegated to like the D League, because
it's totally different. Here in the States, if you get last place, you're like, hell yeah, I got a chance at the number 1 pick. Or in football, it's the number 1 pick. So there's always that light at the end of the tunnel to turn things around quickly, that parity. That does not exist whatsoever in England. So this match is huge. A 1 point is massive here. And if Villa can pull it out, which I'm not 100% like, oh yeah, gung-ho Villa. But when I look at it, I see Wolves as a team that is very talented. However, they have disappointed me at times. And Villa, for me, is a team that's disappointed almost all the time. But they've also surprised me at times with their play and the way that they don't back down from teams. They just simply have so many mistakes that build up. I'm thinking if they could have a mistake-free match, 1-1 draw would be something good. What's your prediction on the score here?
I'm going to go 1-0 Wolves. I think it will be a spirited affair, and I think Aston Villa will do all they can. It's just I don't know where the goal will come from. I mean, if they start their normal back three and they put Neves back there as a defensive holding mid and pair him up with the usuals, like you see Matinho and Jota out there, and then you got Raul Jimenez up top, and it depends if Traore plays starts and plays like a 60-minute match, or
this match.
You think he starts?
Yep.
Then, man, I just don't. That's too much firepower in a team that's playing well, and then their talent's better.
I like teams' chances against Wolves better when Traore starts on the bench, because if you've noticed through these first 2 matches of the restart, once Traore enters the game against weak legs, that's when he's just balls out. The guy looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger out there. Just
what do you think his transfer value is, Bucks? Ooh, and where does he go?
He's at least 60 million.
You think so?
Yeah.
He's 23, 24 years old. He came up through Spain. I can't remember if it was Barcelona now or Real. It was one of the two in the youth program before he started bouncing around everywhere and made his way over to Wolves. But I think they'd sell him for 50. They don't have to sell him though. They're managed pretty well. Wolves are. So maybe they do have eyes on next season if it could be a combo of Europa or even Champions League plus an EPL. It's tough to say like they're going to run to win it, but top 3, top 4 is probably something that they're thinking about next year.
Well, the majority of their players are locked up next 2 or 3 years. So they're in a good spot contract-wise to, what, if we want to roll the dice and bring a trophy back to Wolverhampton, I think that's definitely a possibility for them. And Traore is a massive part of that. But I still stand by when he starts, he's very effective, but I think he's the most effective going up against tired legs for 30, 35 minutes.
For sure. And the other thing, though, is aside from Minks, though, not the best back line at Villa. So he's tired legs or just legs that aren't as good.
Bad legs?
Yeah, just bad legs. I think that could be a problem, too. But I'm just gonna give it 1-0. I just unless it was like magic from Grealish or maybe a spot kick, something. I just don't know how Villa scores. So then
No,
you just need
that's
one
totally
goal.
fair.
You
That's
just need
totally
one
fair.
goal.
I don't
So
know.
maybe I'm saying take the underbucks.
I
What am
think
I?
I'm a romantic though. Like I'm a romantic
You're
in that
pulling for Villa. Yeah, I
I
am too.
told
I am.
the masses. I told B last week that they have the claret jerseys that I love, just so damn perfect in my opinion. Great kits, great park. I guess Villa, I don't root for them, but I won't root against them, and I want them to be in the Premier League because I mean, we need a Birmingham representative in the Premier League.
Yeah. No, I mean we'll be at the beach this weekend, Buck. So I'll be waking up probably before this time because my son will get up before that. But it'll be nice to have some soccer on, just your normal Saturday morning routine. Walk, get some coffee at the local donut shop down the street from where we have our little beach place.
No donuts or donuts.
Oh, what I do, they do homemade bagels. You get the everything bagel, and they do like their own homemade like cream cheese schmear thing. They do candied jalapenos, prosciutto, onion, and tomato on this bagel. Get the everything bagel. It's fantastic.
How have I never heard of that combo before?
I honestly, I've never heard of it either. I used to go to like Einstein Bagels and all those places all the time. There's
Sounds
just a local
fantastic.
shop, and they have the best coffee. My day is so set that morning. So
Seems like
set.
it. Yeah,
Walk the
it
kid
seems a little
over,
bit too
grab my
set.
bagel, watch some soccer, go to the beach.
Yeah, your pills. Um, Sunday we have Watford and Southampton. Watford is somehow the favorite in this match.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I don't understand that whatsoever. I'm hammering Southampton here. I think it's a 3-1 victory for Southampton. I've watched enough of both of these teams to know that Southampton has Danny Ings, one of the best looking men in the EPL. Great tattoos, great goal scoring ability.
He's your non-Spurs man crush for
Oh,
sure.
for sure. Oh, yeah.
Him or Traore, maybe. You
Well,
you
he
were
just
really infatuated with Traore. You were like, look at the size of that man.
didn't I say at one point I would kind of kill to see a picture of him shirtless, and then the next week on Instagram he
He
posted his own
obliged. Yeah.
shirtless
Did he
pic. It's almost like he listens to this
did he
show.
DM it to you or was this on? Yeah.
No comment on the
No.
DMs, okay?
Well, it's a slight favorite. It's both are picks. So what that means is if you picked either team to win on the money or excuse me on the spread, and the game ended up in a draw, you would just get your money back. So the pick is -1 and 25, meaning you got to spend $125 to win 100 if Watford were to win. Otherwise, if it's a draw, you get your money back. They lose, you lose your money. It's plus 105 for Southampton. So it's not, and that could move, Bucks. I mean, that's one of those classic lineups come out. Suddenly Ings isn't playing, or maybe it's like a questionable back line for Watford, whatever it might be. Something like that could happen where then that moves that type of line. So if you want, maybe gobble it up now if you think you know what's going on. If you follow those teams pretty well and know the rotations.
Well, also Watford played today.
They did. Yeah.
So I'm gonna
They,
take my chances on Southampton and Danny Ings' fine ass doing the thing.
honestly, I like Southampton too because Watford played today, like you said, and they lost to like a Burnley team that I thought was going to quit after we thought Sean Dyche was just going to leave.
I know. What
Our
was that
favorite
all
coach.
about? What was that all about, dude? Did Deitch's wife just get real pissed at him for coming back from the boozer, like real ganked up?
Well, well, like I wanted to say, he was upset with the financial spending. It's like you're at Burnley. It's not, you know, open bank account.
Also, when Burnley has like the full slate of their striking options, they're not a bad club to play that hold up type of play and have a target man up there, which he's been quite successful with. Then they get some injuries, and all they have is Hernandez, and they're all of a sudden they're in dire straits. I looked at it a little bit differently than Sean Deitch, but maybe he's just fed up with Burnley and all the boozers kicking him out because they won't let him have 40 beers.
You think he's worn out his welcome at every pub?
There are
They just,
signs that he
they just don't
has.
want him there.
And the most glaring sign is the fact that he wants to leave Burnley. I think it's
I've
like the
seen every
most
pub
glaring thing.
I've needed to see.
They're all
This is
done.
this is over.
Yeah. And you know why I love Danny Ings so much is because when he was played so sparingly at Liverpool, it kind of pissed me off because every time he get on the pitch, he's actually a guy that I
We
would
get
love
it.
on
Number one
Spurs.
fan club. You
No,
want
if
him.
I want Danny Ings on Spurs,
But he's not a true
big
center
time.
forward, is he?
No, but he has adapted his game into that.
Would you rather have Danny Ings or Shaqiri?
Danny Ings.
Well, tell Liverpool, who just won the title. Congrats to Liverpool and our friend Liverpool.
Don't say that.
Liverpool waited 30 years for this, Bucks.
All right, so you talk about FA Cup. We got to get into it. We have one match Saturday, three on Sunday. You talked about Saturday. We only have two matches Saturday. Bunch of championship matches though, so I'm looking forward to firing up the ESPN Plus on Saturday.
How much better is ESPN Plus than NBC Sports Gold?
Oh my goodness, it's night and day.
NBC Gold. I mean, you can still. It's not like we're on Bleacher Report Live, which doesn't even function well. By the way, awesome that they're probably done with Champions League after this year, Bucks. That's pretty sweet.
Oh,
That we don't have any
getting rid of
TNT or Bleacher Report. Yeah, we'll have
So
to
we
talk
don't
more
have
about
to
that at length.
watch.
You don't
We
want
don't have.
Steve Nash breaking it down, Spurs supporter.
Steve's got a long way to go.
Love
And
Steve Nash.
so do we. So do we. But what I won't miss is them hanging out in like a high school baseball clubhouse where everyone's wearing tennis shoes and jeans with like some trendy shirt on, doing their halftime analysis. That's the one thing I appreciate about NBC Sports. Everybody's buttoned up, looking
Yeah,
real pristine.
you need to look dapper for it. This is an event. All
This
right,
is
you
an
got to
event.
dress for this. Yeah, I
This
don't like it when
the
it's like
Champions League.
Tim
You're
Howard's wearing
wearing
a T-shirt.
no t-shirt, tennis shoes. Get out of here. What is this? This
I do
is
like the
Teen
host though.
Vogue.
What's her name? She's good. The English lady that not Rebecca Lowe, but the one on Champions League for Bleacher Report
Oh,
TNT.
I only have eyes for Rebecca Lowe, and you know that.
That's true. Love her.
All right,
But
so
yeah,
Saturday.
yeah. Let's talk about like good matches because we just had to like lead off with like Southampton and Aston Villa and Watford and Wolves was good, I guess. But
Well, I hate to
we actually
disappoint you here, Daniel, but we're going to start on Saturday with Norwich, Manchester United. I have no doubt that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is heading for this FA Cup. He wants it. I got them just running this one 4-1.
I don't think it's gonna be 4-1 bad Bucks, but I would say here's the line. Let's talk through it this way. Thought I had the line, but I don't.
I thought you did too.
So it's +1 really if you wanted Norwich, -1 for Man United, but you got to lay -125 to get that -1. Actually, I kind of like that. At first, I thought I was going to read that it was -2, but it's not. So I would have said 1.5. That's where then I'd have to start thinking things. You know, do they win by a goal or two? I think Norwich will play defensive ball, and maybe they have some pride where they want to win against Man U. I don't think they can win all of FA Cup, but they're relegated, right? Are we saying they're doomed? Right now, the way the table's set up, they're at 21 points. Villa, Bournemouth, and
No,
West
they're
Ham
done.
are all
They're
27.
done. Toast.
I think they're pretty screwed.
They're toast, and in my opinion, they have two players, Cantwell and Pookie, and that's about it. And that's not going to match up with whatever Manchester United throws out there.
The only hope you would have if you bet on Norwich would be that the old gunner does not think anything about this match and starts 7 second stringers and can still go to the bench. And I think they still do 5 subs in FA Cup, similar to EPL right now during this whatever version of Project Restart we got going on back to the pitch. But I mean, even like the 16th best guy on Man U that's starting is better than probably like the 4th best guy on Norwich, right?
Agreed with that. Like
Okay.
I said, I got
Let's
Pookie
not
and Cantwell in my players.
Here's the thing. What you do is we got to figure out a money line parlay, Bucks. Now I'm getting excited. I think we're going to make some money on this. So everyone knows money line parlay means you're picking the team to win, but they both have to win, or even all 3 or all 4 teams have to win in order for you to execute on that bet.
So you're picking Man U, money line, goal line as we call it here. Uh, I
And
got Man U
I'm looking at
covering -1.
City against Newcastle.
See, I feel like if you take Man U -1 and you're dropping 130 in juice, that's better than what you're going to get at the goal line. They're going to win by more than one goal.
But they're minus 235 to just win. So I
That's
think
terrible compared to 130.
I get it, but and what would happen is if they won by one, you just push. So I think that you're right. What we should be advocating is betting on more things. So you should have a money line parlay with them and another team, probably Manchester City. They're the next like heavy favorite aside from Man U. And then also you should have an individual bet on just Manchester United to cover the -1. I'm glad we talked this out. I
Okay,
thought I was only making one bet. Now I'm making two.
that's fair. Sunday, though, is just a wonderful day of
It is.
Premier League FA Cup action starting at 8 a.m. Eastern, 5 a.m. for you West Coast slingers out there. Sheffield Arsenal to lead it off at 8 a.m. You want to talk about how sometimes they juice up the early game? This is that perfect example. This is a great lead in, an appetizer. For me, this is like raw oysters. I'm loving every bit of it. Putting a little bit of hot sauce on it, a little bit of horseradish. Boom, right down the gullet, straight out of the shell. No crackers needed because this is so damn juicy and spicy.
So you always do your oysters raw?
No,
Ever?
no. I enjoy a Rockefeller. I enjoy a nice steamed oyster from
A
time to time.
Rockefeller. You sound like you're me.
No, who
That's
hasn't
like the
enjoyed a
fancy
Rockefeller?
oyster.
It
No,
is
I
a
like
fancy oyster.
see, I like them raw bucks. It doesn't matter what time of year. Is
See,
that
that's
dangerous?
it's
In
very
fact,
dangerous.
Saturday when I'm at the beach, my favorite bar will have raw oysters. Guess who's getting them?
It's June. It is late June in Florida. Currently, right now, the Gulf is 90 degrees. Why would you ever get an oyster when the water is so warm? This
They
doesn't
inspect
make
them.
any sense.
It's fine.
No, they inspect what? You get one bad oyster and you're done for, dude. I'm telling you, you only eat oysters from October through March. Those are the only times that you eat oysters. It's science, man. In Florida, if you're in the
I thought it was
Northeast,
month with an R. So September and April should count.
oh no, heck no. You
No.
cut it off by one. Yeah,
What
you
if I
trim
steam
that
them?
fat.
If I steam them, we're fine.
Mm, you're better, but you're not exactly fine. I mean, the raw product is tainted to begin with.
So you're saying go with the peel and eat shrimp.
Yes. Oh yeah. See,
That's what they do.
summertime peel and eats all
Bucks,
day.
can we talk about my favorite bar for a second? It's called Golden Lion.
Yes, we can.
It's in Flagler Beach. Love it. We're gonna be there this weekend. Flagler's my spot. I like my old beach towns. I like it where there's one traffic light and that's it. It's my favorite bar. I go there all the time for beer, for oysters, for the view. They also have a cool stand-up bar that you just can hang out at that just overlooks the ocean. And they have like a top deck part that's awesome.
Beautiful.
Best fries in town, coldest beer in
What kind of
town.
fries?
They're like the skinnier fries, but they're like super crispy.
So
They
like
bring
more like fast food fries than like a steak fry or a crinkle
correct,
cut.
but the second best fries are a steak fry at the local steakhouse there. So you have both
False.
options.
False.
No, I'm
Crinkle
saying I have
cuts.
two different outlets. I have my regular fry versus my steak fry.
So
They're
do
both
you judge
available.
where you're gonna visit by their fry quality?
For nicer places, I feel like a steakhouse that does a good steak fry, like that's sometimes harder to pull off.
See, I've never been to a steakhouse where I don't do the mashed or the baked.
See,
So
I like a baked potato, but sometimes it gets too tricked out. It's like, look, man, we don't need to
yeah,
get
but tell them to keep it
17 different
simple, keep it
items.
bare bones. If you
We've
keep
talked
it
about
bare
our
bones,
baked potato and fixins before.
we've
I
talked
feel
about it
like,
many times.
but back to my bar that I love. They'll always have live music. The guy's usually playing something easy going, fits the mood. You walk inside there, first thing you see is just three Arsenal items: a kit, a scarf, and then there's like some other like plaque of
And this
I
is
don't
your
know.
favorite bar.
I walked in, I noticed it. I knew it was an English owned pub, but had no idea that the guy happened to be an Arsenal supporter because usually you hang inside. You don't ever go to the inside part of the bar. I was like walking to the bathroom and I was like, what the shit? Like, had no idea after like 8 years of going there. So what do I do? Quit going to it?
No, I mean at this
I
point,
just think now I get more, I start wearing like Spurs stuff.
I think
Like
you
I just get
counter it.
real like in their face about it.
You counter it. You wear more Spurs gear, and you actually start placing Spurs stickers everywhere throughout the pub that he can't see it, but they're there.
Okay.
And you be real strategic with it. So I'm gonna order you a sticker pack, and we'll figure it out from there. We
Love
got to get
sticker
into this
packs.
Sunday slate. We start with Sheffield Arsenal. This is a weird one for me because I think at this point Sheffield, I think they're going to be gunning strictly for the FA Cup. They've drifted back a bit. I'm not sure they're feeling confident about their ability to finish out the remaining 7 matches. But I still have Arsenal beating them. Arsenal, for whatever reason, are just such a weird club to watch. I have Arsenal winning this 2-1.
Yeah, hang on. Let me just finish this Man U Man City parlay. 1,000, 2,700. Okay. Um,
Shit. Yeah, the funny part is he's being
don't.
completely realistic.
Yeah, should I share the screen on that?
Yeah, do that.
Both are teams that I thought really sucked out of the gate on the Project Restart back to the pitch. Although Arsenal won today. Uh, I don't know, Bucks. I mean, this one I hate both teams. They're both enemies of Spurs this year. Obviously, Arsenal enemy forever. Um, I'm very much pulling for Sheffield United. What I want is just an absolute bloodbath since Spurs have to play both these teams, and Sheffield sooner and then Arsenal a couple weeks after. So that's what I want is just everyone to lay it all out there. I actually think Sheffield is better coached and they have a better midfield. So I can see a Sheffield victory at 1-0 in this one. Arsenal, the game they won today, I don't know if you caught any of it. Did you see how they scored their first game or their first goal?
I've watched nothing from today.
It was a straight up like Hugo Lloris would be so proud. The Southampton keeper, whoever that is, just literally just like handed it to the Arsenal player. It was like a 2-foot pass. Like
I heard the goalkeeper was Cam Shakes.
No, he wasn't. It was some guy named McCarthy. Okay, but he passed it right to that kid on Nikita or whatever his name is over on Arsenal, and he just like looked at it and he's just like, okay, and just like he like dribbled the ball into the goal, just like walked it in.
Yeah.
So that was rough. And then after that, Southampton got a red card later, and then off that red card, they scored on a free kick. So it's not like Arsenal's like really crafting goals right now, and Sheffield will hopefully play with some pride. Maybe they think now FA Cup might be the better outlet for them, being that they suddenly just started sucking on the restart. So I'm going to go 1-0, like I said, with Sheffield United.
But see, the other side of this is I think Arsenal feels they're so far out of that Champions League spot that they're gunning for this as their moment of glory.
Yeah, there could be that too, but I don't know. I think same thing applies to Sheffield here. Either team, I think, yeah, they want to make a run in the FA Cup because really
the pressure's on Arsenal.
The pressure's on Arsenal, but I mean, either team probably just thinks like we're not getting anything past Europa at this point.
It's true. All right. I got Leicester and Chelsea, which is just the juicy cream puff of a matchup right now. I like a good Detroit style cream puff. Get that chocolate syrup, but fudge all over it. A little bit of whipped cream. I think Chelsea takes it down. They look damn good today against Man City.
Yeah, they looked really good. They kind of won how Spurs won, right? Against Man City. They basically kind of absorbed all the threats from Man City. Man City had a couple great chances that just didn't go in. Some good saves by Kepa, and then also some unlucky moments too, like Sterling hit the post, and really had one fast break goal by our boy Pulisic.
That was like, just complete shit abyss.
Yeah, that was like two Man City players ran into each other. And then I thought what was tricky about what Pooley did there was he had the ball. Now. Yeah, he's Pooley. We're buddies. Pennsylvania kid. But anyway, Pulisic, he had the ball, and then did you notice he like kind of like went in like, I don't know, third gear, fourth gear, and then just clipped it to like fifth, sixth gear, right to burn by the Man City defense, who was running like side by side with him, and then cool finish.
Well, it opened his angle by doing that.
Yeah, that too.
It gave him a little bit of a veer path right in there, and
But
it
it
was a
was just
real
like
cool finish.
he just like hit the burners, and he used that's something like Traore does now. It's not like he just runs fast at all times. He'll coast at like a 7 out of 10 speed and then just floor it.
Well, I have Chelsea winning this 2-1.
I actually have Leicester. Um, I think Leicester has had a couple lackluster performances. I think they believe they're safe, though. They're higher than Chelsea in the table. They're in third place. A lot would have to go wrong for them to fall off. So I think this has been circled on their calendar, and this is something that they're gonna really like set a strong lineup for. And looking at the Leicester schedule after the FA Cup, pulling up their fixture list right now, Buck. They have Everton, Crystal Palace, and then they have Cherries, then Sheffield United before Spurs. So really, just it seems like they could be locked up into a top four position by early July. And if that's the case, I think then they know they can kind of coast there. It's so weird because to me, it's all like player management at this point.
But why not go for glory here?
That's what I'm saying. So for that reason,
Okay.
they're gonna really focus on FA Cup because the hope is the last 3-4 matches that they have in EPL
It's a
aren't
cruise
gonna.
fest.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm with you there. I mean, the thing I like about Chelsea right now, though, is the Pulisic renaissance. Him kind of coming into his own. And I also just have this very terrible feeling that Azpilicueta is going to score against Leicester. And he's going to chat my ass. And it's just been like chirping me for the last 24 hours. Azpilicueta, goal. Like
He's their captain.
He's the most annoying player I've ever seen in my life. I
Does
don't
he
like him.
kind
I
of?
don't like his mannerisms. He looks like a rat.
I was gonna say he looks like our buddy Butters.
He looks nothing like our buddy.
Yes, he
Butters.
does. I'm gonna do a side by side post on our group chat. We'll let everyone weigh in.
All right, so Shakes and I disagree on Leicester Chelsea.
By the way, that's a pick 'em. So just I don't know.
As it should be. That is
Slight
the
favorite is
definition of a
Chelsea.
pick 'em.
Yeah, Chelsea's plus 135. Leicester's plus 185.
I still like Chelsea.
You're allowed.
I'm liking what Lampard's doing down there, man.
You just like all chalk. I get it.
Good God.
Blue blood Bucks.
Mm-hmm. Blue blood. Newcastle Man City is the last match in the FA Cup for the weekend. Look, Newcastle has been a surprising club in that they've really hung strong and they've won some matches that we don't expect them to win. This is not going to be the case here this weekend. Man City could throw their JV club at them and win this 2-0. I think it's going to be a 3-1 win for Man City.
I can see a Newcastle goal clipped in, but
By the way, Phil Foden, holy shit.
yeah,
He
there's
scored against Spurs last year in his debut. That really pissed me off. And then you see him this year. He's not just scoring, opportunistic goals. He's making his goals. He is just completely obliterating the ball, putting it on net with power, with pace, and with some angle and some turn on it. Phil Foden's going to be a player. He is the definition of like Ollie Skip for Spurs. He's still wearing 47. Like he's out there just like trying to get by. But I think the guy has scored like 8 goals for Man City already. Like put this guy in a real number.
the problem is though, if you're him, because there were rumors before of him transferring out because he just couldn't get any playing time, and that's because right now Aguero's hurt, and they don't know if he'll be back in time for Champions League. But when you have Aguero, you have Mahrez, you have Bernardo Silva,
KDB.
you had Sterling. Well, KDB is going to play a little bit behind him, and then you have Sterling. Though I'm just saying, all like in the attacking side, he's just always going to be second to those guys. So he's never going to start these matches unless it is like that Spurs match because they played the Champions League game like the Wednesday before.
Yeah.
Where Llorente hip thrusted the game winner in. Little tap, But yeah, no, obviously I'm on Man City too, as I just placed $1,000 parlay on them and Man U. I did not do that. I did not do that.
Well, we'll get into our monkey knife fight picks here. we only have Villa Wolves available. We do not have the availability of these FA Cup matches. And the one contest that stood out to me here was the more or less. You get 3 out of 4 to double your money. So there are 4 opportunities here. And the one thing that stood out is that we have Villa and Wolves, yet there's no Jack Grealish on this list. So the players here are Raul Jimenez, Hurricane, Yota, and El Ghazi. So where the hell is Jack Grealish?
I don't get it, Bucks.
I don't get it at all. So our more or less here for Raul Jimenez is at 2.5.
I'm showing it to everyone. And then just to remind everyone, a shot on target's a point, an assist is 2 points, a goal is 3 points.
So I have Jimenez scoring a goal here, and I have him over.
So we're going to select him as more.
Yep, more.
I'm in. I know nothing about Connor here. In fact, I don't know what does he look like, Bucks?
Whenever you don't have a picture, I'm gonna go less. I'm saying Jorge is less.
He just needs one shot on net, though, Bucks.
Yeah, I'm going less.
Yeah.
Jota is more.
See, that's a lot. 2.5. If it was 1.5, I'm on board with you because I could see.
Excuse me. I have him down here. It's less.
You do have him less?
Yeah.
All right. Glad I talked you out of it.
Yeah, there it is, less.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, he could be on the other side of a Traore cross. That's 100% possible. But other than that, I don't know if we're getting 3 shots from him because he's not
100% goal too.
Yeah.
But I'm still going less. And then Anwar El Ghazi, I'm going less here.
You're going less? You don't want to go more?
Why? Because he scored?
Yeah.
No. Grealish is scoring.
What so you just doing? Think so we think this is just a defensive performance by Wolves. They're going to have the possession. There might be 3 shots. None of them on net for Aston Villa.
So you had it at a 1-0 Wolves victory. I had it at 1-1. And I don't see either Hurahan or El Ghazi being the goal scorer. So I'm not banking this on whether or not they have an opportunity. I'm saying I don't think that they can hang with Wolves in terms of we're going to have all this offensive production and tons of shots on net because that 3 at the back is always going to stand strong.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, the way I see this game unfolding is it could be 0-0 at half, and then eventually it's 1-0 Wolves 60th minute or so, similar to the last game they just played. But there's a world, right, where they just get ahead, like 2-0, 3-0, and then just everyone comes out.
It opens up.
And then it opens up a little bit more. So there's that. But I'm riding with you on this. I'll put a 5 spot on it.
Because I think Jimenez scores, and Jota is always that wild card. But you have to take that, devil's chance here, saying it's not going to be 2 out of 2 there. I don't think they're both going to score goals in this match. But that was the only one we had available for us. This was the one that I liked the most in terms of odds, getting 3 out of 4. Mind you, it was 3 out of 4 there, Shakes. So we don't need all 4 to score. That's why I went less on 3 out of the 4 because as we've watched, as we've kind of gotten used to this after a week of doing this, it's tough to get a shot on net.
Yeah.
It's tough in this league.
I think what this is turned into that when you bet the over-unders of other games, whether it's soccer or basketball, football, you always want to take the over. It just seems more fun, and then you realize the under hits a lot more. I feel like that's what's being applied here, Bucks. You think over a half point, over 1.5 points, it's definitely hitting. And then game gets played, and it wasn't even close.
Yeah, it's
had a chance on that.
I'm going to play over/under chances of Shakes getting food poisoning at Flagler Beach eating raw oysters in late June. I'm going to hit the over. So, folks, thank you all for joining us. It's been a blast as always. Join us next Thursday where we have a full slate of EPL matches to roll into. All 10. We're going to be rolling them out. The matches are going to become hot and heavy. There's going to be so many of them over the first 2 weeks of July. I'm not really going to know what to do with myself. Shakes, how are you going to handle that?
A lot of caffeine and a lot of squirreling away some money.
Yeah, we're going to
Make
squirrel.
sure it's not found
Yep, we're going
by
to be
other parties of
squirreling.
the household.
It's
Yep,
true.
that's
Maybe
right.
you could host me one time for free for a weekend.
I'd love to have you, Bucks. Come on over.
Golf included.
Golf and pool.
Golf included.
We got a pool and a pond in the back.
All right,
Pond's
we're in
probably
for
more
that.
your speed.
Thanks, y'all, for joining us. We'll see you next week. Join us at TT Podcoys on Twitter. That's our Twitter handle. Also, you can catch our Talking Tottenham podcast. We drop them now, every 3 or 4 days, Shakes, because we're back on our regular
We're back,
schedule.
Bucks.
We're totally back. And I don't want to toot the old horn, but they're quite funny. We have some moments. Shakes is really coming into his own as a comedian. Not a comedian, a comedian.
Is that like Canadian?
Similar.
Canadian?
Very
Bucks
similar.
thrown on for about 10 minutes on Anna Kendrick. So there's always that.
We did have a pitch perfect segue in the middle of our podcast. And you know what? We just have a good time. But thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next week.
See ya.